Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Tabia Pope Show. I am your host, Tabia Pope. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing to our YouTube channel. If you didn't know, the Tabia Pope Show is an image management talk show focused on enhancing men and women's communication skills, image, and lifestyle. On today's episode, I have Sheila Anderson. She is a corporate image consultant, and she's the principal image consultant at Image Power Play, and she also is a public speaker as well. She has over 20 years of experience as a brand manager, and she was formerly trained in corporate image consulting and menswear from the Studio for Image Professionals. And if you want to join us today, we're having a live Twitter chat after the show today. But if you want to join us and join in on the discussion, follow the show at Tabia Pope Show on Twitter. And also you can follow Sheila at Image Power Play. And you can use the hashtag Image Management Talk. And after the show, like I said, we're going to be talking and answering any of your corporate image and personal branding questions. If you're looking for immediate communication, image, and lifestyle inspiration, you can head on over to our Pinterest account. We have over 1,000 men and women who are already pinning with us and finding inspiration. So go on ahead and find some inspiration on Pinterest as well. Today, we're talking about corporate image consulting. And you're probably asking or wanting to know, who is corporate image consulting for? Well, corporate image consulting is for high-profile clientele, and this can range from politicians, CEOs, senior executives, and also when we think about people that are in the spotlight and use their voice and their image professionally and as a brand ambassador, we think of musicians, athletes. We also think of ministers as well, and emerging leaders and job seekers that are needing to have their image in the forefront as well. So today we're talking about image, and thank you so much, Sheila Anderson, for coming on the show today.
Thank you. It's quite an honor to be here.
No problem. So can you just briefly talk about your experience as a brand manager and also as a image consultant?
Sure. I have about 20 years of experience as a brand manager in a corporation, and that came about as I started my career with first impressions. Okay, I've been a receptionist, I have been an office manager, I've held several positions in a corporation, and most of those have always been about first impressions. Mm-hmm. So I became a brand manager because I understand that how important it is for corporations to have a first impression. Mm-hmm. And that is carried over into me being a corporate image consultant, because that's all about first impressions for those in that corporate world and that professional world. So,
and I think people don't realize that you said a receptionist, right? How your receptionists and the people that are on the front lines, such as a sales representative, right, for your corporation or right, for your business, and how important their image is in the reputation also of your company as well.
Right. That's the first person that you have contact with, is that receptionist. I mean, they can make or break a sale for you and an impression of your company. And if they want to continue to do business with you, is that receptionist smiling? Are they friendly? Are they dressed appropriate for what you have in mind for what that business or that industry should look like, right? And sometimes it's not always in person, sometimes it's over the phone, and how they're speaking to you and how they're communicating, and do they get back to you if you have a question? Are they finding answers for you? So that receptionist is very, very important, and it's the first impression of a company a lot of times.
Mm-hmm. I love that, and I definitely think people need to hear that. So what made you want to specialize in corporate image consulting and also menswear as well? Because I think that's interesting as a woman wanting to specialize in menswear.
Right. I have, in corporate America, for the most part, there's more men in corporations and in business than there's women. And that's just a fact. So we're trying to change that. But just in the corporations that I have worked in, I've seen way too many men dress sloppy and not look professional. And I have an art background as well. So for me, getting dressed was kind of an art project, right? And it's creating balance on your body, and it's in a way kind of maybe decorating your body, right?
And it definitely is. When you think of image consulting, you think of, or just image and wardrobe, and it is an art. It's an art, and it's also, and you find that there's also a science behind it as well. And people don't understand, and we'll get into that later, but people don't understand the science of it as well.
Right, right. So for me, I knew I could help these people. I mean, I knew that they could be better than what they were portraying, because I mean, when I was working with them daily, interacting with them, I knew that they could portray a much better image of themselves than how they were doing it with their appearance. Okay. And personal styling, and I don't know if you want to get into this now, but personal image consulting versus maybe a corporate image consulting, the difference is there's more to image than just your appearance, right? So when I was in meetings, I would watch men and women. I would watch their body language. I would watch how they would communicate with people.
Your communication style, and being able to present also. And you also talk about telephone etiquette and correspondence.
Yeah. So I knew, and I had a styling company for several years, about 15 years. So I did personal styling, I did wardrobing, I did color draping, I did all that. And I still do that because that plays a part in your whole overall image, but it's not everything, right? I mean, your appearance is part of your image, but there's so much more that makes up your image. So being in a corporation, I would watch people and I'd be like, wow, we could really enhance who you really are, and you would be much more effective as a leader and be perceived as a leader. You know, you always hear dress for the part you want to have, and that's so true. I mean, it's very, very true. And it's cliche, but it's very true.
What do you think are some of the unique needs of your corporate clients? I know we kind of addressed that a little bit, but are there anything that stands out that they are asking you for, or the corporations are asking you to train their employees on,
right?
Specifically,
right. So when we think in terms of branding, so many corporations and so many companies spend thousands and thousands of dollars on getting their logo right, getting their marketing materials right, getting that message right, but they forget that they themselves are part of that corporate brand, right? That CEO is part of that corporate brand, and their employees are part of their corporate brand. So the unique needs, I feel, is that they forget that it's about the people, that's their brand as well. So if they're not being effective out in the marketplace, it maybe is because they're not being perceived as a leader. And why are they not being perceived as a leader? Right? So it's that brand become it's you know, it's your logo and everything on the corporation side, but we have to remember there's the personal branding aspect as well.
And devoting funds to personal and professional development. I think that's what we're speaking to, is personal professional development for your employees, and also the leaders, the executives, and having that leadership presence as well. Is there anything else that we've missed about the unique needs of our clients that come to you? Do they also, when you go to speak to your clients, your corporate clients, is there anything that you specifically address in your presentations?
A lot of times they don't know the image they want to portray. Right? They need help trying to figure out who they are. And in a world where the whole buzzword is be authentic, be fearlessly authentic, that's everywhere.
We've seen I feel like we've seen a trend of now that's like the it thing, right? Of being authentic, being a brand. And I think social media has a lot to do with that now, of that trend. But that's always been the case. Right. We're starting to see that.
Right. And it's when they come to me, it's like they don't know how to be themselves. What? You need to figure out who you are, and let's figure that out. And how do we portray that? And I think we get bombarded, like you said, with social media or magazines and other influences that tell us who we need to be. Okay. And I think sometimes the image consulting field can maybe get a bad rap on that. Okay, I'm going to hire an image consultant, and I'm going to hire you, and you're going to tell me I need to look like this. No, I'm not going to tell you need to look like this.
Right.
You're going to look like you, and whatever that is, and we just need to figure out what that is. So when people come to me, they just don't know how to be themselves.
So being authentic and
being authentic, right.
And finding also your personal style and finding that happy medium. Right.
I mean, people get so caught up in all the rules, and there are rules. There are rules that you need to follow, but there are ways that we can bend those rules to make them fit you. Mm-hmm. So we don't change you, we just make you better. I enhance you.
I love that. And I know that a lot of corporate clients, and when you talk about corporate image consulting, you talk about dress code, right? And knowing the difference between boardroom attire and also casual Fridays. People may not know what exactly casual Friday means or casual dress code means to them. Are there any tips that you give your corporate clients?
Right. Well, I have learned that, and it kind of depends on the different regions of the United States that you're in, or even different countries. What's acceptable in a boardroom, maybe what's acceptable at your office. But there's 5 levels of dress codes that I have been taught and that I truly, truly believe in. And there's a boardroom attire that's very much, that's where politicians are, okay? All the suits are dark. You have a white shirt, and your ties doesn't have a lot of pattern to it. Your shoes, don't have a thick sole on menswear on shoes. Women, it's always nylons. I mean, pantyhose. You have to wear pantyhose, and it's always a jacket. So there's that high-end boardroom attire. Then if you go down, a next step is your a business look. So it's a little bit more relaxed. I find then the next level is like executive casual, which for the most part, I see a lot of corporations when they said they went to business casual, mm-hmm. That's maybe what they had in mind, but a lot of corporations have trouble defining that.
Yes.
Okay, we all know maybe what boardroom looks like or professional looks like, and then what's casual look like? Everything else is casual. Well, not really. I mean, torn jeans and a t-shirt and a hoodie and flip-flops might be mainstream casual to somebody, but nice dark denim jeans and a jacket might be casual. So you get these corporations that have incorporated this business casual, and it's all across the board, and they're all frustrated with it because they haven't learned to define that.
Do you think that corporations should have a strict dress code, or do you think they should do away with the business casual altogether?
I think it depends on their industry. I think they need to define it. Okay, so if you think of a law firm, you think of, what do you think a lawyer should look like, right? You expect them to probably be in a business suit and a tie. Okay, so that law office, their dress code should be what's perceived as, what does an attorney look like, right? Mm-hmm. If you are in a marketing company or a PR company, you might be able to have a more relaxed look. It still needs to be clean. It still needs to be, they can wear jeans, but I think corporations need to define it. Mm-hmm. And make sure that their employees understand it. And it all ties back to, what is that company's brand?
Mm-hmm. Right? And I also think that you can use accessories also to dress up your I guess, professional casual.
Right.
Especially with women. I think that with women, we can use also color
Yes.
to help us with, when I talk about the science of image, right? When we think about color psychology and how a pop of color or the right color for your body, for your skin tone can truly enhance your overall look.
Right.
Are there any tips that you have for just
Right.
the overall the accessories and also the color psychology?
Yeah. So if you are, say you are a teller at a bank and your dress code is, it's probably maybe a little bit more relaxed, but it's not where you're not going to wear your clubbing clothes, which you're going to go out in. I always tell people, if they ask me, well, is this appropriate? If you're asking me, then you know it's not appropriate. You know,
you don't feel confident.
Yeah, if you're questioning what you put on that morning, well, is this really appropriate for work? Then it's probably not appropriate if you're already questioning that, right? So, dress for where you're going and where you're going to be. So, getting back to how can you incorporate a little bit of your style or a little bit of flair if you're in a dress code, you can do that, like you said, with color. You can do that with some accessories. It's maybe a hairstyle, it's your eyeglasses, it's throwing on a scarf, it's there's a lot of
handbag as well for women.
Yes, handbag, right?
Or how do you feel about pocket squares for men?
Love them. So my husband, who hopefully is watching live, he is a CPA. Okay, so I am grateful because he loves to shop. And he loves to shop with me, and he loves clothing. He has got, I don't know how many, probably 100 pocket squares. So that's a way for men to accessorize or to stand out a little bit, okay? To add a little bit of more personality to their look. Okay, so you can do that for men. You can do that with their ties. You can do that with a pocket square. Lapel pins, I mean, there's that little notch in a lapel to wear a pin, right? You can add some personality if you do custom suits. If you do a made to measure, if you do a bespoke suit, a lot of times, well, you can customize the lining inside your suit. So you can have a little bit of flair in there. You can add a ticket pocket, say. You can have the custom made suits or the bespoke have the surgeon sleeves where you can unbutton and you can change the colors of the buttons or the threading. So there's a lot that men can do. Even on your socks, men can have a little bit more fun, not in the boardroom, but in a lot of settings that they can have fun, they can accessorize with their socks. So a lot of times men go, well, I just have to be in my uniform, this suit, and a white shirt and a red tie. Well, you can add a little flair and a little style to it.
I love that. Are there any common mistakes that you find that your men are making that they could especially when it comes to shopping? I feel like women, there's a lot of women that love to shop, right? But I always find that it's that man that goes with his wife or his girlfriend, or his mother or whoever, and he's like, she's shopping, and he's like, where is the nearest bench? Where I want to get out of here. They like kind of run when they're faced with having to shop. And a lot of men, I guess, how can we get men involved or excited about shopping and, kind of think about some of those common mistakes that they make, but also helping them be excited about shopping as well.
Right. I'm not sure I can make a man really excited about shopping. However,
we can teach them some of how to kind of, what are some of the mistakes that are to look out for, or, how to kind of apply some of those shopping assistant techniques that we have as well.
Yeah. So the most common mistake I see for men when they're buying a suit or if they have a suit on is their jackets are too big, right? So they are not, a lot of times men will just buy something off the rack and don't have it tailored. Okay, so you need to have that tailored, but there's a quality as well. So if for me, if I'm working with corporate clients, right? So that quality of the suit, I'm not going to take them to maybe I want to take them to a higher department store and preferably a men's clothing store.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm going to take them, and if they can afford it, we'll do a made to measure suit. But if they can't afford that, the number one thing is their jackets are too big. And even watching that the presidential debates, you're watching, I mean, there are a couple women in the debates, but there's mostly men, and a lot of their jackets are wrong. They're the wrong size.
Or the stripes, or it's very
Yes. So one of the things that I see all the time, especially with the jacket too big, is it's too big in the shoulders, and their shirt sleeve isn't sticking out past their jacket. Okay, so that's a typical thing that I see. So if I teach men to say, this is going to make you look better. I mean, men have egos, right? They have egos. They want to look good too. I mean, they really do. They just don't know how to do it, and they're shopping with their wife or their girlfriend, and they're getting influenced by maybe what their wife or girlfriend likes for them. And maybe it's not true.
Right. Right. And she may not know herself, you know, you know, what's right and what's not, and kind of how to maybe ask the person that works in that store for their advice as well.
Right. And you have to be careful with that, because a lot of those salespeople aren't trained to know what fits people very well, what their color is, and what colors are perceived maybe as more powerful. They don't know all that. You know, most of those sales clerks don't know that.
And I think it's really exciting when I do find someone that really takes the time with their customer too. A lot of people just don't want to take the time to help them. And even that's when their job too. That's their job to help, you know, and sometimes they're very standoffish. They don't want to help as well. Right.
So getting back to a man will be influenced by maybe what that woman wants them to wear, and it's not being true to themselves. Okay. So I will talk to that wife or that girlfriend or whatever, and I'll listen to what they think that man should be wearing, but I make the determination. I mean, you hired me, right? You hired me. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you what you need. Okay. And maybe it's not exactly what your wife wants or what your girlfriend wants, but it's what you need. And you're going to feel a lot more comfortable and a lot more confident in those clothes when it's true to yourself. So my husband and I, sorry.
No, it may not be something that you want to hear either.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. So my husband and I, several years ago, you know, I was trying to figure out what my style is, and I've gone through a whole gamut of looks to really defining who I am, right? I always tell people, define yourself before others define you, okay? Figure out who you are and dress yourself accordingly and act in that way all the time. I mean, that's your whole image, is defining yourself. So my husband and I have a thing where we say, if we put something on and I might look at him and go, or if I put something on and he wants to say, are you really going to wear that? Okay. So we say to each other, don't stifle me, right? And we laugh about it, because that's just a way to say, you know what, I'm dressing authentically to who I am. Okay. I'm not dressing you do dress for your spouse or whatever, but you have to be true to who you are, and you can't be influenced by your friends and what they're wearing. And I see that a lot with women when they're shopping. You know, I go out all the time and I'm just in stores seeing, okay, what's happening, what's new. And there's several times, I'll see a group of women shopping together, and they're all, trying on things, and I can see always one of those ladies always going, well, I don't know about this, because it's not her style, and she's not feeling it, right? She's not feeling it in those clothes, and she doesn't feel confident. And all her friends are saying, yeah, I get it. And she probably reluctantly goes and buys it. Now I've gotten a lot more bold where I'll go do an intervention with those situations, but you can't be influenced by what others want you to be and the clothes that they're maybe think that you should wear. It has to be true to who you are.
I like the influence as well, but I think we also are influenced by the sales too.
Yeah.
The sale, and we feel like that kind of like we have to buy this item, right? And it may not be the best item, but we feel like, oh, there's a sale. I'm getting this item because it's on sale. Can you speak to a little bit about just the science or psychology of sales too, and how the infrastructure of stores, how they can kind of get you in and lock you in on items that you don't need to buy.
Right. And I want to bargain just as much as anybody else does, right? But just because it's on sale, don't buy it just because it's on sale. Buy it because it's right for you. Okay? So if you can find something that's right for you, that's on a clearance rack, great. Go ahead with that. But make sure it's always right for you. Make sure it's the color you want and it's good for you and it portrays that image you want. Make sure the fit is good. If not, can it be altered or tailored? In a way, men are pretty good about it when they're buying a suit, and if they're at a men's store, they understand having to get it a little tailored. Women, on the other hand, well, these don't fit, I'm not going to get them. Well, it could fit if we just did a little tailoring, right? So just because it's on sale doesn't always mean it's a good thing for you. And then I get a kick out of, everybody digging through all these sales racks, 75% off. I dig through them too because I know what I'm looking for. But you see women like all these clothes that they have, and I'm like, but they're left over for a reason.
That's a good. I like that.
Right? They're on that sale rack because nobody else wanted them, maybe, or they weren't a good fit for a lot of people. Okay, so I would rather
quality too. You also have to think about the quality.
Yes, absolutely. Buy quality, not quantity, and that's hard. I mean, gosh, when I was younger, can I stuff another thing in my closet? I think so, right?
Yes.
And it wasn't always the quality that it should be.
Let's talk about, I think that's a great segue into talking about our wardrobe essentials, because when we think about our wardrobe, we want to have quality items versus quantity. And I think that especially if you want to speak towards a men's core wardrobe, and also how to develop a capsule wardrobe where you have versatility, you shop your own closet and you pull items that are basic items, but they can work together and very versatile.
Right. So you're right. You need to pick quality over quantity. And, if you're not wearing something, if you haven't worn in 6 months or a year, you need to purge it. Okay. So one of the things that I teach people, and when I teach people, I have to teach it to myself a lot of times as well, is, look in your closet and turn all your hangers backwards, okay? And then as you wear something, put it back in the right way. And then you can visually see after maybe 3 or 4 months what you're wearing and what you're not wearing, and take that stuff out. So it's kind of visual clutter.
I love that.
Right? Get rid of that visual clutter so you know what's in there. And then take some time and like you said, shop your closet. I mean, that should be your favorite place to go. What's your favorite store? It should be your closet. Right? Right? It should be. You should be able to walk in and go, and pull outfit. And when you put an outfit on, and if I help people edit their closets, if they put on something and it's like, okay, well, this is kind of okay. No, you have to love it. And you have to feel amazing in it. And it has to give you an attitude that gosh, I look amazing in this. I can go conquer the world. And that's how you should feel every day about what you're wearing. Okay.
You should also feel that way when you're actually in the store and you see an item. You're so excited over that item that you fall in love with it, and that's that item for you.
Yeah.
And that if you didn't fall in love with it in the store, you're not going to wear it. If you usually wear it if you don't fall in love with it in the store as well.
Yes, you have to feel this attitude come upon you when you put something on, right? And you can tell. And you can tell when people, I know we're getting a little off the subject on closet and I'll come back to that, but you can tell if people feel confident in the clothing that they're wearing or not, right? There's an attitude. For men, it's kind of an ego, and they're stand up taller, they're straighter, they have a lot more confidence. For women, you know, we're kind of creatures of habit. Women, we always accessing what is everybody else wearing, okay? But if you have on something that you love, you can walk into a room and then you're not focused on yourself, is this right? You're not worried about that. You take the eyes off yourself and then you can focus on other people, because that's really what life is about, right? Relationships. So getting back to the closet, have stuff in there that you love. Take care of your clothes. You know, launder them properly, have them pressed properly. And then, you know, how are you storing them, and are they on nice hangers? So there's a lot of different things that go into taking care of your clothing in your closet, storing it. What colors do you have in your closet? If you've done a color draping, say, and you know what some power colors are for you, your whole wardrobe's going to work, right? And you're going to save money because you're not buying stuff that doesn't coordinate with everything else in your closet.
I love that. I think we covered it. I think we covered it all. Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
It was great to have. Yeah.
Happy to have you on the show. Are there any takeaway points that you want to leave, especially when we talk about corporate image? Are there any takeaway points that you want to leave our audience with before we wrap up?
No, I just want people to understand that they need to define themselves before others define you, right? To make sure that you know who you are, what image you want to portray, what's your look, how do you want to be perceived? Do you want to be an expert in some field? And to make sure that your whole overall image speaks to that. And people, when they think of you, there should be one word that comes to mind, and it should be the word that you want to come to mind for those people. So,
and it has a lot to do with personal branding.
Yeah.
Going through that personal branding discovery process, because before, you have to know who you are and what image you want to project before you can even get to the wardrobe, to working on your communication skills, your body language. So I think that we just need to take some time out to work on our personal brand, and then we can also start working on image, our wardrobe, and our communication skills and our etiquette. And then from there, self-package ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Now we have a complete package because we know who we are, we have our wardrobe, we know how to communicate, and now we have to go out and market ourselves, right? And I think and then we can get into our business cards and all of that. But there's a process, and I want our viewers to know that there is truly an image transformation that all of us have to go through, especially if you want to be out in the spotlight. And our image is so important in how people perceive us. And image is just not, like you said, Sheila, is not just our wardrobe. It has so many levels to it, you know, and so that's why the Tabia Pope Show is here, because we want to help you tap into who you are and also work on those skills that you need to self-package yourself in today's society. All right, well, thank you so much. And if you would like to be on the show, please email media@tabiapopeshow.com. Until next time, enhance brand you.